Hi, Terry here. Thanks for dropping by. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between supporting someone and rescuing someone. In my business, I help other people get started creating income from home. I help them free up time so they can spend more time doing the things that they love to do, that they want to do, spend time with their family and living the life that they had intended. But I find it very interesting how many people say they want a life like that, how many people say they want to make positive changes in their lives and they want to create more in their lives. But when it comes right down to it, they're so stuck in their story and all their reasons why it can't happen for them that it makes it impossible to help them make changes. And the idea came up today. The reason it came to my mind was I was in conversation with a teammate this morning who was asking. She had received an email from someone saying that they didn't have the money to get started in a trial program. In other words, an opportunity to try something out to see if it was a fit for them. Now, the trial was $7, and this person explained they didn't have $7. They didn't have the time to do this. They needed a change in their life, and they proceeded to tell her all the things that were wrong in their life, their entire tale of woe. But the bottom line was she was asking, what can I do to help this person? And the answer there is you can't do anything until they've decided to be helped. Your hands are tied. And, it's an odd thing because as people, oftentimes we do really genuinely want to help others. But sometimes the very act of helping others is simply going to pull you down with them and not be able to, you can't help them in the way you want to. So just to give you an example of that, if you interview or talk to members of the Coast Guard, they have a saying that is that oftentimes people simply won't participate in their own rescue. Now, what do I mean by that? Why would you not participate in your own rescue? Well, apparently, saving someone from the water, saving someone from drowning is one of the most dangerous things you can do, and there's a reason for that. If you're on the boat, you're maybe not so, may not be so dangerous for you, but but interestingly enough, when you toss that life preserver ring out, even if you hit the person in the head, and I don't recommend that because it would probably make them unconscious, not helping them at all, but you even get it nearby them, and there's a really good possibility that they're not going to reach out and grab the ring. They're not going to swim to it because they're in panic mode. They're in drowning mode. And they're not thinking. They're not focusing. They're not firing on all cylinders, so they can't pay attention to the reality that's around them. That's bad enough, but let's just say you're in the water and you actually were to swim out and try to help someone that's drowning. That would be just like a really dangerous thing to do, because in that mode of panic, in that mode of shock, in that flailing and fighting that they're doing, they're likely to simply grab hold of you and pull you down with them. So rather than you saving them, they're going to take you and drown you with them. And, it's an interesting concept, but it's because we're in such a stressed mode at that point that we really can't see the signs in front of us, what can be helpful. And, as an example to that, I hear people all the time saying, I want my life to be better. I want my life to change. I would like to have X, Y, Z in my life. I want more time with my family. I want to have the money to travel and do the things I want to do. I want to be able to provide for my kids what they want. I want to be able to spend time with my kids. I want to travel. I want to get in shape. Whatever it is, and you offer them the answer to how to do it, and they're simply following up with an excuse why that isn't it. Because oftentimes what people are looking for is a miracle that doesn't require any effort on their part. And honestly, there is no cure like that. In order to survive in this world, it's necessary to take responsibility and ownership, and in other words, participate in your own rescue. Let me just tell you a story that kind of goes and illustrates this point. And you may have heard the story because it was in the movie. It was shared in the movie Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith's son. But it's something I'd heard a long time ago, and it really rings true to this concept. And it's the idea that God will save me. Now, I don't mean that God's not going to provide miracles, but just listen to the story. It's a parable. A terrible storm came into a town, and local officials sent out an emergency warning that the riverbanks would soon overflow and flood the nearby homes. They ordered everyone in town to evacuate immediately. Well, a faithful Christian man heard the warning and decided to stay, saying to himself, I will trust God, and if I'm in danger, then God will send a divine miracle to save me. Well, the neighbors came by his house on their way out, and they said to him, "We're leaving. There's room for you in our car. Please come with us." But the man declined. He said, "I have faith that God will save me." So as the man stood there on his porch, watching the floodwaters rise up the steps, along came a man in a canoe paddling by, and he called out to him, "Hurry, come get into my canoe. The waters are rising quickly." But the man again said, "No thanks. God will save me." So the floodwaters continued to rise higher and higher, pouring water into his living room, and the man finally had to retreat up to the second floor. Soon a motorboat came by and saw him at the window. "We will come up and rescue you," they shouted. But the man refused, waving them off, saying, "Use your time to save someone else. I have faith that God will save me." Well, the floodwaters continued to rise higher and higher, and the man had to climb up to his rooftop. A helicopter that was circling overhead spotted him and dropped a rope ladder. A rescue officer came down the ladder and pleaded with the man, "Grab my hand and I will pull you up." But the man still refused, folding his arms tightly to his body, saying, "No, thank you. God will save me." Shortly after, the house broke up in pieces and the floodwaters swept the man away and he drowned. When he reached heaven, the man stood before God and he asked, "I put all of my faith in you. Why didn't you come and save me?" Well, God looked at the man and he said, "Son, I sent you a warning. I sent you a car. I sent you a canoe and a motorboat. I even sent you a helicopter, and you refused it all. What more could you expect me to do?" Wow. When you look at it that way, you realize that the answers to every question we have are very likely being presented in front of us. If we ask for the help and have faith that it will be there, and we open our eyes to what's in front of us and stop sharing our stories, stop explaining all of the reasons why things won't work, and simply reach out for that life preserver, there's a good chance we can make the changes we need, that we can create and have anything and everything that we could ever desire. So if you are working with people, be sure to do like they say on the airplane. If you notice on the airplane, before they take off, before they do anything, they do an emergency overview. And what does that emergency overview say? It says, in the case of loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down in front of you. Be certain to don your own mask before helping someone else. Now, why is that? It's because if you don't have the oxygen you need to help yourself, you are no good to other people. And if you have that and you're taking care of yourself, then helping other people with their own oxygen is fine, but you can't do the breathing for them. So if you're looking, I appreciate you stopping by today. I hope that this idea gave you something to think about and might help you in your next chapter in your business or in your life and in what you're doing. And if you are a person that's been looking for a way to change your life, if you've been looking for a way to grow the business you already have, or looking for a way to create extra time to spend with your family, doing the things that you love and the things you want to do, click the link below and check out what we're doing. I work with a highly successful team of individuals that are locking arms and creating a future that they can be proud of, a future that they've dreamed of, a future that can involve and include anything and everything that they want to have in their lives. And if you would like to have that, we would love to have you join us. Click the link below, check out the video, find out if it's for you. If you want to find me on Facebook and friend me on Facebook, I'd love to talk about this. I look forward to reaching out, lending you a helping hand, and helping you manifest in your life the things that you always wanted. This is Terry Krotzer. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon.